Guys, welcome back. So today we are going to do a product review. So we teamed up with SSS Offroad and we are gonna do a product review on their full premium skid plate and trailing arm guards for a 2024 Turbo R. So we're gonna put one on this machine. You guys just saw this in our latest video at AOA. So we're going to upgrade the skid plates because for that video we still had the stock ones on. So one of the main things we always change is the skid plates. So we just got the package. Came in a really big box. This company is based out of Utah. So we're going to do an unboxing quick and we'll show you what the skid plates and trailing arms guards are going to look like. So we got Sterling. He's going to take it out of the box quick for you.
One piece. It's the very back piece.
And this is the thick plastic, so it's not.
Yeah, it's
aluminum.
3/8. It's not ½ inch. It's 3/8. So the ½ inch is a little thicker of a skid plate, but this is a 3/8.
So like I said, this is the premium version of it, so it comes with the rock sliders already installed. They do make them without it too, so they wanted to send the premium model, so we opted for that.
Okay. Yeah, just hold that.
So we got its logo on there.
Got one more piece in here. Got some zip ties too. Here's the trailing arms guards. And these are the little plates for at the top area of the trailing arms. So that's it in here.
Okay, so that's it for the box. So it comes in two pieces. So you got the front middle area, and then that first piece was the back. And then we got the trailing arm guards. So overall, seems pretty good material that they use. They got the logo down the side for the rock slider part, logo in the middle. And they do say that all the holes should match up with factory. You just might have to use self-tapping for maybe the edge, but we'll see when we get there. So we're gonna get our machine ready. We'll get the stock skid plates off and we'll be back when that's done. Okay, so we got the front part of the factory skid plate off. So there's that. So if you've never taken, if you have a Turbo R and you've never taken the skid plate off, it has these little C-hook type things. So you definitely have to pull on them to let it drop after you get all the bolts out. So you just got to take out the back part yet. And you reuse the factory bolts, so definitely keep those. So here is the skid plate from SSS Offroad. So like we said, we got the premium one, so it comes with the rock sliders built in. And it also comes with the front guards. They're actually flat when they ship them. So the skid plate actually is a three-piece. So you have your middle, you have your front, and then your tail end for your back. Comes with pretty decent instructions. Tells you exactly how many pieces of hardware they have. We did find out, because like we said, we have the premium, so you can get the non-premium, which is just the skid plate itself. Doesn't come with the rock sliders or the front firewall protection. According to the instructions, it does say before we would install this, we actually have to heat up the front part and bend these so they wrap around the front. If you get the non-premium ones, so they don't come with these, they say you can take your stock ones that are on your stock skid plate, you would cut them off actually and place them on underneath this. That way it pinches it up against the frame. But since this is the premium, it comes with it. So the instructions say to heat this up with a heat gun or a torch. There is a faint line in the middle. So we're gonna have to, before we install this, we gotta heat these up and actually bend these up and then let it cool down so it stays in place. So Sterling's gonna get the rest of the skid plates off the machine, and then we'll bring you back when we have to do this part. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, the instructions say to install the back piece first. So before we bend those other ones, we're gonna install the back piece. Here's the stock one. So we'll see how well we can get you. Pretty much he's just gonna line up, see where the holes all sit. The instructions do say there's 2 holes on the way back that you're gonna have to tap into the frame.
Yeah, so now.
They might be. Are your keys in your truck?
No, I got them in my pocket. Hold on.
So he's gonna get this started and we'll be back.
So I got the 4 cup washers in. And then 2 in the back. And then that hole and that hole all the way in the back, they'll get drilled a little later.
So pretty much that's what the back piece looks like. Does it cover everything that it's supposed to cover?
Yeah, because right here, the transmission is exposed when there's no plate on it.
So it covers the transmission well. Nothing's exposed.
No, nothing's exposed. Everything is fully covered, like they should have done from the factory.
Okay, so the tail end's on. So the next step would to be put this middle piece on. But like I said, we got to bend the front rockers first. So we're gonna get situated for that and we'll be back. Okay, so we got a heat gun. So it just says heat up the crease. You can see there's a line in the middle. It is a pretty thick plastic, so it might take a little bit of heat to get them to bend freely. Okay, so we got all 4 sections bent up. So it took a little bit, but we got all 4 of them pretty much equal. So when we go install this, these pieces here actually will fit underneath
That's what I'm thinking.
the panel, because that's what the stock ones did. So when you're taking off the stock ones, you gotta take these screws out just so you get a little bit of play. So we're thinking that these will go underneath that. So we'll see if we have them bent at the right angle. If not, we can always just heat them up a little bit just to get them where we need to bend them for installation. But as of right now, we got those 4 done. Like I said, it took anywhere between 4 and 5 minutes of heating them up, bending back and forth a couple times until they stayed where they needed to be. So we're gonna get this moved over here and we'll get it installed and we'll bring it back. Okay, so we got the middle skid plate situated underneath. It's definitely a 2-person job. You need someone to help hold it while someone else is putting the bolts in. But we got most of it lined up, so we're putting in the middle bolt washers from the stock. So we got one right there. We got one right there for right now, and then we got 2 corner pieces. So it's looking like the front rock slider protecting parts sit over top of the other plastic. They're not as long as the stock ones, so they don't come all the way up, so you won't be putting them underneath the front plastic parts. So we're just gonna get these all situated, everything lined up, and we'll continue to put all holes, fill the holes with the bolts, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got the stationary bolts already in to hold the skid plate up. So the one issue we've come across, the part that we had to heat up and bend, this one fits fine. This one we have it bent a little bit too much, so we're gonna have to reheat this part and bend this back some. The other issue we seem to have is these rock sliders. When you push it up, they stop because they're hitting the plastic piece right there. But you won't be able to get a bolt from in here to the hole that's in the frame here because of this. So we're assuming that this has to sit flat. So we're thinking that these from factory are just bent a little bit too much in. So we're gonna try heating this bottom part up, pull this back some, see if this sits flat, so we can get this to pass here. This will sit flat, and then we'll be able to get the bolt in. So we're going to heat this up a little bit and see what happens. As you can see, even by just doing that, it's warmed up this section, so this section now is actually sitting higher than it was before. So we're going to see if that works, and then we'll probably move over to heating up this side piece a little bit to see if that gets it to lay flat. So we'll do that. You gotta get this to come out. Like that.
Where's that?
So we got it to sitting on top, so we're gonna see if we can get some bolts in to hold it up, and we'll be back. Okay, so we heated this up, so it did push it enough that we could get it to rise up a little bit. We were still having some issues pushing this all the way up so we can get the bolts in. So it was taking two of us, we still couldn't get it, so we actually just got the jack, put a piece of wood in, use that to hold the skid plate up and push it up where we needed to. So he was able to get the bolts where we needed to get them to hold everything up. We might still have to heat this up to bring this out some more to push this up some, but right now the bolts are in there. So we're gonna go to the other side, do the same thing over there, see if we can make sure everything gets lined up, and then we'll be back. So we got the plastic over top of this. like I said, this was our new best friend. But it helped get this pushed up. So we still got to get 2 bolts in here. So we're gonna get those put in and we'll see what we do next. Okay, so we got this where it needed to be. We got the bolts in there. Not sure if you can see them, but they're in there. So pretty much now we're just gonna go start from the back and work our way up to the middle. We're just gonna tighten down all the bolts that are in there. That way this is on completely. Then after that, the next part we got is, we got the front part, which will sit in this area here, which we gotta drill holes into the frame. So this part here will gets sandwiched in with the middle bracket, and then we gotta drill holes, and it comes with bolts for that. And then we gotta drill holes for these 2. So we're gonna get these all tightened, and then we're probably gonna call it a night. It's getting late. So the next clip after this, it'll be the next day for us, but it'll be just the next clip for you guys. So we'll be back, but so far this is what it looks like. There's the back. Okay guys, so we're back. So it's the next day, next clip for you guys. So last time I said that we were pretty much just tightening down all the rest of the bolts that were underneath the machine here. So we got all those tightened. So now the next step, we are gonna install the nose piece of the plastic. So pretty much Sterling is already down there, so he got the nose piece already situated.
So I gotta drill this hole here, this hole here. I gotta drill a hole into the frame. And where I have the clamps holding the plate on, I gotta drill a hole here. And then I gotta drill a hole in the frame here and a hole in the frame here to mount this front nose skid plate.
So pretty much with the instructions, it just says secure the nose piece to the main skid plate using factory holes. Use C-clamp to hold the front, which we already did. And then, so we just gotta drill and tap the holes. So it says use a 13/64 drill bit. And then M6 millimeter by 1 tap, or use stock M6 by 25 self-tapping bolts, which those aren't included. So we're gonna get the items we need to do those 4 holes. So we'll be back once we get situated with those.
Your head when you're welding? How long? Oh, keep it there.
Okay, so we got Josh here helping us. You should be wearing glasses.
Yeah, I got a piece of metal right in my eye. It came out. It looks center, Sterling.
It does?
Yeah, I drilled.
You drove through it already?
No, just a little pilot.
Oh.
I'm just making sure it's center. You want to check it, or am I just going?
Yeah, because what I was going, I was going to put one of these button things up there, and then this way you know that you're completely centered.
So we're getting the holes prepared too.
Looks really good.
Okay. Yeah, because I
bolts
hate,
in.
like in the plates there, the button things, a lot of them weren't completely in the center. What can you do? I can't look.
You can't look? Is that what he said?
Yeah. We have Josh doing this, so Sterling doesn't do it.
It's a good drill bit, Sterling.
That's why I gave it to you.
What did he say?
That's why he gave it to you. What size drill bit is it?
1364.
So it's 13/64 to drill a hole into the frame.
We're almost done, buddy.
No, we got throwing on yet.
Yeah.
That is a nice drill bit. We need to talk about a product review of the drill bit.
So we got the 3 done. So now we're gonna take the washer, the cup washers, and 3 bolts, and we'll put those in.
Yep. And then for that truck. And then he took it down.
Whoa! All right, give me 2 more of those setups.
That's all. I like the old truck.
So we got one in. So then we just gotta do these 2 right here, and we'll be back once they get in there. Okay, so we got this one in, and these 2 right here. So this whole front is already done. So now we just got to drill a hole into the frame for here and here, which then they go right through there. So I think our plan is we're actually going to put a bolt and nut. So we're getting the bits for that, and then you can reach in here and hold nut in to put the bolt in. So we're going to get bolts, the lock nuts, and a drill bit, and we're going to drill those out next.
That looks good.
That doesn't have a security thing with it also, but one small.
Always wear eye protection.
Safety first. Okay, so we got Josh putting in 6mm bolts with lock nuts. We're putting 2 washers, one on the bottom and one on the top. We're able to reach through.
This is tricky.
We're gonna get those all started and then we'll tighten them up. So we got the bolts in.
Yeah, looks good.
So it did push this part up some.
Yeah, I like how it fitted that.
Confirmed.
See, if we would have used those other heads, they would, because these stick down a little bit, but they're not super bad.
So we did take notice that the skid plate doesn't come all the way up to protect the full part of the frame. So we do wish that it did come up here, so you can see it stops right there. And then you still have that little piece of the frame yet, but overall. So the next thing I believe we're gonna do is we're gonna go work on the trailing arm guards. So we also got the trailing arm guards. I believe those are gonna be all tapping screws because there's no brackets or anything for them. So we're gonna get those situated for the skid plate. Okay, so we pretty much took the trailing arm guards and we just lined them up there. We have one zip tie holding it, and then we just took a permanent marker and marked the holes with the marker. So now we're gonna take these down, and then we're gonna drill the holes into the trailing arm and then match it back up. So that'll be next.
It's a nice drill bit.
So
Let me have the
Got
piece.
the cry portion in there.
Yeah.
Sterling,
What
can
do you
I,
need?
can I have the slider?
Oh. Is there a front or a back?
I don't think so. I hope not. Is it lined up? Can you tell? Oh. It looks good.
So we're
Good.
gonna get the bolts ready and we'll start putting it on.
Cap that shit.
So we drilled the holes out, so now we're gonna use the tapping screws to get the thread started. And then we'll use the hardware that came with the machine. So we're gonna use these. We're gonna tap the holes out first and then we'll bolt them on. Okay, so we get the two bolts right there. You got one in the middle. You got two up front. So we just got them started. So we're gonna get the torque bit and we'll tighten these bad boys down.
I'm gonna tighten it by hand.
Yeah. Just too bad I've always done before I went over the rocks.
I
Then
know.
They got
Well, this side would have still got scratched up here because these don't go that far back.
Oh yeah.
well, yeah. Rocks are so oddly shaped that you go over the rock, you think that the tires looking at the trailing arm, it would have avoided that area.
Sterling,
Yeah.
that is perfect installation, buddy.
Oh, that's why I have you doing it. I ain't no dummy.
We're just gonna hand tighten these. Make sure they're hand tight, and we'll move on to that side.
Do you have a ratchet and quarter inch?
We'll be back. Okay, so we got
You definitely tell a difference when you put in a different
trailing arm installed on this one.
And then I was
So
trying to throw
we do
little
stop right
hints
about
to,
here, so
to
they definitely
James
don't
about,
come.
like,
So you can see where
when I
we
messaged him about, hey,
when we went
have you ever
riding a
tried
couple
out
weekends
your
ago
track
for the
mode?
first time with the machine.
And
We
he's like,
scratched
hey,
up here,
you
but
did that
it will
one time
protect
where you really,
pretty well up here. The
wrecked some
bolts
stuff or whatever
all
And I said,
recessed in
well,
there,
down at
so
Durham
nothing's
town
hanging
on the
down.
track.
So
I want to put
it looks
in
pretty
track
nice.
mode to see how the pedal
Easy.
feels in that.
just drilling into the hole.
Yeah.
But
Might
so
have
far,
said he's not
this
home,
is
though.
pretty much what the skid place looks like.
Where are these from? The house?
Yeah.
Can I have one?
No, man. Well, I mean, it's just
So
kinda weird
the only
that
thing we have to do yet
all the
is
time he
bolt down
kept saying
those
about,
two back
we're going to Georgia. And
holes
then now he's
in the
canceling
back
out.
skid plate back here. And then we'll be done. So that'll be the next clip. For us, it'll be a next day because we have to get a new tip.
Hang on,
So
we got a little problem.
we'll be back with drilling out those holes. Okay, you guys, welcome back. So where the last time we left off, we had all the skid plates done. It's been a few days. So pretty much we are getting the bolts put in the back plate. So according to the instructions, it gives you a M10 by 30 bolt, and there's 2 holes in the back, which I showed you guys before. On the instructions, it does say something about tapping, but when we talked to the company, they said you should be able to just be able to push it up there because the metal's so thin that it'll just thread itself. We tried that, we used the jack, we still could not get it. So we actually just ended up getting a M10 by 1 thread drill bit. And we just kind of ratcheted it in there just to thread the hole in the frame that's right up here. And that seemed to work because then we tried it, the bolt went in fine. So pretty much we're just putting those bolts in right now. Sterling did use blue Loctite, red Loctite.
Blue.
Blue Loctite, since there's no nut or anything on it. So this one here is already in. As you can see, it's right there. And then we got the one that's going on right there. It is a tight fit. This thing doesn't bend much, so there's definitely going to be a gap. But that's how it was made, so we're going to go with it. It's moving a little bit closer. So the ends might be pretty good flush, but you can see there's a little bow here, and that's because of the way the plate is that's on this frame. So we're going to finish tightening these up and then we'll be back. So we got both the bolts up, but we didn't like how they were pushing up on this section here and making this area here bow out. Plus the head of the bolt, tightening it down, we didn't like how it sat on the plastic since there's no washer. And we were thinking that it should probably have some kind of spacer and a washer. So we actually took the bolts back out and we got a washer to put in. Not sure if you can see that. We got a washer we put in there, and then we got a, what'd you use? A spacer?
A nut.
We used a nut as a spacer because we didn't have any spacers. So
I didn't have no spacers big enough.
so we did that just so it kept the skid plate flat.
Yeah, it's more flat. It's a little still bowed up.
But it's less bowed than what it was, so you can still see there's a little bit of bow here, and then this part still comes up some, but I think we're liking that better. So we definitely would recommend probably a spacer and a washer
Yeah,
when
this way.
installing, unless you want this to be bowed up completely, then just use the bolt. And it does fit, it does work. We're just a little anal about what things look like, so we just added the nut for a spacer and a washer to give it a little bit more support. So overall, pretty much the back skid plate now is all installed. All the cup washers and screws are in. The rock sliders are over the plastic. As in the beginning of the video you saw, we had to heat them up a little bit just to bend these out because they were too far in. So that's another thing that you might have to do while installing this type of skid plate. If it does have the rock sliders, they might just need to be heated up to pull out. We did heat up the front, and since the instructions say heat them up, bend them up before you install, we did that, but then we had them up too far. So we heated them up again, pulled them down, and then finish installation. And then we just went back and did another swipe with the heat gun, heated them up, and then just pushed them back to where we wanted them. So we got those done. Bring it to the other side. Roll that in. And the same on this side. We just bent them back up. So overall, skid plate is on. The trailing arm guards are on. Those went on pretty easy. Those are just a few bolts. You had to drill holes into the frame, but overall, it wasn't too bad. The middle section pretty much used all the factory hardware. So that went on pretty easy. Recommend using a jack, unless you have another person that can help you lift it up and hold it up. Jack worked well, so we recommend that. The front skid plate part, whoa, can we move this back? I'll get you a picture of the front real quick. Hold on, wait. The jack's still there. Okay, so the front here, the front skid plate, those had, I believe, 4 or 5 holes that you had to drill. So that's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So yeah, so there's 5 holes that you had to drill. 3 of them use the cup washers. They do supply cup washers, so but we just had extra ones, so we just reused our other ones from our other machines. And then the 2 front here, you had to drill holes into the frame. So all 5 of these, you had to drill holes. So that wasn't too bad. They went in pretty easy. We do wish that this part of the skid plate did actually come up a little bit higher and kind of butted with this area to protect this part of the frame. It stops back a little short for our liking, but it's gonna do what it needs to do. Overall, it's not too bad. So that's the front, we got the back, we got the sides, and the whole undercarriage. So what do you think?
It's nice.
Easy installation? Any recommendations?
The only thing I would really say is when the full underbelly skid plate is down on the ground before you when you go to mount it, I wouldn't, in the instructions, I wouldn't bend these front firewall panels
Yeah, I said that already.
up. Yeah, I would do that after it's on the machine.
You could heat them up before you install it just to get them a little bit pliable. That way you're not heating them up completely while it's on the machine. But we personally recommend bending them after they're already on the machine. Overall, I think that's pretty much it for this installation and product review on SSS Offroad premium skid plates. These are the premium. They do make non-premium ones, which just pretty much don't have the rock sliders built in. So you can just get the 3-piece, no rock sliders. So if you already have your own rock sliders that you want to use, I believe the other one will just sit flush with the bottom. This is a premium model, so it has the rock sliders built in. The trailing arm guards are separate, so you'd have to purchase those separate too. But overall, that's about it. We do have a ride coming up right after Christmas. So we are headed down to Durhamtown, Carolina Adventure World, and Indian Mountain. So we'll definitely be able to check these out and try them out. And stay tuned for those videos. We'll bring you a little review on them after we see how well they hold up. Durhamtown, Carolina Adventure World, we'll see what kind of rocks and stuff we go over We did hear that Indian Mountain can be a little rocky and some good climbs, so we'll definitely try it out there. So stay tuned for those videos, and we'll bring you a in-person product review of the skid plates there. But overall, it wasn't too bad. We're excited to try them out on the trails. So definitely go check out their website. They specialize in skid plates, and they have the trailing arms for multiple different machines. Polaris, Kawasaki, Can-Am, I believe Yamaha. So definitely go check them out. Their link and all their information will be in the description below. So that'll be the end of this video. We'll see you at our next one when we are out on the trails. As always, stay safe and see you out on the trails.